So the construction we're going to be doing here is an isosceles triangle, and you want to start out with a segment of arbitrary length. And so just like in your midpoint construction, you're going to stretch the compass so that it's more than half. This time, if you want to go more than the whole, you can. Let's see what happens if we make this compass even longer than the length of our segment, so that the compass is past the whole thing. And what will happen is, if you make an arc from one endpoint and you come over here to the other endpoint and you make another arc, you're going to be drawing segments to where those arcs intersect. So remember that we went more than the whole distance, and what did we end up with? We ended up with an isosceles triangle, but we also ended up with an isosceles triangle that is acute. Now imagine if we shortened our swipes so that they were less than the whole thing but more than half, kind of like how we did it when we were doing a midpoint construction. Let's see where those lines would fall. So if I do a swipe that's more than half and I do another swipe that's more than half, notice that the intersection point is going to be much lower. And when I draw to those intersection point, when I draw to the intersection point from the original endpoints, I'm going to get a much larger angle. So the angle up here, x, is much smaller than y. So as you shorten the distance on the compass, this point's going to drop further and further down, making this angle bigger and bigger. So if you needed an obtuse triangle, you would want to drop this point down even further. So in any event, let's just ignore this inside part. We've now got an isosceles triangle. By definition, an isosceles triangle has at least two sides congruent. So this is a good example of a construction of an isosceles triangle.